The 1960s were packed with iconic cars, but some of the smartest, most well-engineered machines flew completely under the radar. You've probably never heard of these, but you'll wish you had. Number 1. The AC Greyhound is one of the most overlooked grand tourers of the 1960s, and yet it was engineered with remarkable thought and precision. Built by the same company that would later create the legendary AC Cobra, the Greyhound was a larger, four-seat evolution of the AC Ace, sharing many of its sporting roots. Underneath its elegant, hand-formed aluminum body sat a lightweight tubular chassis, independent suspension, and rack and pinion steering, a setup far more advanced than most saloon cars of its time. Buyers could choose from a variety of engines, including the 2.0-liter Bristol Straight 6 and even a 2.6-liter Ford Zephyr unit in later versions. These engines were mounted in a near-perfect front-mid configuration, giving the Greyhound a balanced weight distribution and impressive handling for a car with 2+2 seating. With a top speed of around 110 miles per hour and smooth GT-style ride comfort, it truly blended sports car dynamics with everyday usability. But what makes the AC Greyhound especially unique is its rarity. Only 83 units were built between 1959 and 1963. Today, it's almost completely forgotten outside of hardcore British car circles. Yet in terms of design purity and mechanical sophistication, the Greyhound deserves recognition as one of the most well-engineered hidden gems of its era. Number 2. Now, here's a car most people have never heard of, the Lloyd Arabella. It might look like just another small car from the 60s, but under the surface, this little German machine was packed with smart engineering. For starters, it had a boxer engine, just like a Porsche, mounted up front, and it was front-wheel drive. That was a pretty rare combination back then, especially for such a small, affordable car. The Arabella was designed to be smooth, efficient, and lightweight. It had unibody construction, which helped reduce weight and improve rigidity. Again, something you didn't see often in economy cars at the time, and despite being compact, it offered a comfortable interior with surprising refinement. Unfortunately, Lloyd was part of the Borgward Group, and when that company collapsed, so did the Arabella's future. It was only produced for a few short years and quietly disappeared. But for car nerds and engineering fans, it's a fascinating reminder of how even small, forgotten brands were pushing boundaries in the 1960s. Number 3. Before the Reliant Scimitar became famous for its shooting brake design in the GTE, it started life as a sleek coupe-style GT, and the engineering behind it was surprisingly forward-thinking. Launched in the mid-1960s, the Scimitar GT was one of the earliest examples of a fiberglass-bodied grand tourer, combining lightweight construction with solid performance. Beneath its stylish body was a steel box-section chassis, paired with a 2.6-liter Ford inline-six engine, borrowed from the Zephyr. This gave it a smooth, torquey power delivery and respectable performance for a touring car with a top speed of around 110 miles per hour. Suspension was independent up front and live axle at the rear, giving a balanced, predictable ride, especially for long-distance driving. One of the car's biggest strengths was its weight-saving fiberglass body, which didn't rust and allowed for more daring, aerodynamic styling. It also gave the Scimitar impressive power-to-weight ratios for its time. Although it never reached mainstream fame, the Scimitar GT laid the groundwork for what would become Reliant's most iconic model line. Number 4. The Honda S800 may have looked like a tiny roadster, but it packed some of the most advanced engineering of any small car in the 1960s. Launched in 1966, it was Honda's first production car to reach 100 miles per hour, and it did so using a tiny inline-four engine, just under 800 cubic centimeters, that revved to an incredible 10,000 RPM, unheard of for a street car at the time. What made the S800 so remarkable was its motorcycle-inspired engineering. The engine featured a DOHC valve train, roller-bearing crankshaft, and a near-race-spec build all derived from Honda's motorcycle racing experience. Early versions even used a chain-drive rear axle with independent rear suspension, another nod to motorcycle design. Later models adopted a more conventional drive shaft and live axle setup, but performance remained sharp and lively. Weighing just around 700 kilograms, the S800 handled like a go-kart, light, nimble, and perfectly balanced. Despite its small size, it was a serious driver's car that rivaled British roadsters like the MG Midget and Triumph Spitfire, but with far more precision. Number 5. Imagine taking a Mini Cooper, one of the most iconic economy cars of its time, and handing it over to a top industrial designer with a vision for something truly elegant. That's exactly what happened with the Ogle SX1000. In 1962, British designer David Ogle reimagined the Mini not just as a fun city car, but as a sleek, low-slung GT coupe. Using the same subframes and a just under 1-liter engine from the Mini Cooper, he created a completely new fiberglass body that was both aerodynamic and stylish. The SX1000 kept the Mini's famous handling and go-kart feel, but looked like something out of Italy. Sharp, compact, and beautifully proportioned. Only a handful were ever made, just around 66 cars, making it extremely rare today. But what makes the SX1000 stand out isn't just how it looked, it's how cleverly it combined affordability, proven mechanics, and high design into one unique package. Lightweight and eye-catching, it was a Mini with soul and sophistication. Sadly, the project ended when David Ogle died in a crash while driving one of his own cars. But the SX1000 remains a stunning reminder of what happens when engineering meets artistry. Number 6. The Citroen Ami6 is one of the strangest-looking cars of the 1960s, but behind its odd shape lies some brilliant engineering and clever thinking. Introduced in 1961, the Ami6 was designed to sit between the ultra-basic 2CV and the larger, more luxurious DS. What grabbed attention first was the car's reverse-raked rear window, slanted inward instead of out. It wasn't just for show. It helped keep the glass clean in rain and allowed for a larger boot lid, improving access to luggage space. It also made the car stand out immediately on the road. Underneath, the Ami6 used the proven 2CV platform, but with Hydrup pneumatic-inspired suspension that delivered a surprisingly comfortable ride. It retained front-wheel drive, lightweight construction, and Citroen's legendary ability to glide over rough roads, even though it had a small, air-cooled flat twin engine producing just 22 horsepower. Despite its modest power, the Ami6 was roomy, economical, and surprisingly durable. It became hugely popular in France, even outselling the 2CV at one point. But outside Europe, it remains almost unknown, a true oddball that combined quirky design with practical, forward-thinking engineering.